Good morning, folks. Hope you guys are all doing very well. So we're talking about balance today. Just to give you the 411 what we're going to be doing, I'm going to talk at you guys for like 5 or 10 minutes. After that, we're all going to be standing up. Pretty much everything is going to be done while standing. We're not going to have to get on the mats or anything like that. And with that being said, I'm going to reiterate it quite a few times. There's going to be some bending of the knees. There's obviously going to be standing on one leg, give or take. If you ever feel pain, I know some of you might have some troubles with your knees and stuff like that. If there's pain in your knee, don't do it, okay? That goes without saying for the most part, but I'll just reiterate it. And when we get into some of that stuff, I'm just going to ask that you stay about 10 degrees north of pain, okay? So if I go down here and I feel pain in my knee, let's not go down there. Let's stay up here, okay? So without that being said, we'll go ahead and get started. I'm going to scare you guys with some stats, and then I'll hopefully quell your worries, okay? So when it comes to balance, the biggest thing that we're looking to do is preventing falls, okay? For the most part, that's really what we're after. There's some scary stats from the CDC all about falling. More than 1 in 4 adults over the age of 65 fall each year. It's actually closer to about 1 in 3 adults, so that's a lot of people, okay? 2018, over 3 million seniors visited the ER for fall-related injuries, resulting in over $50 billion in costs. Okay, that's a lot of money that we should probably be saving. Roughly 20% of hip fractures are fatal within a year. That is mind-boggling. If you fall, break a hip, that's an absurd stat that a lot of people don't do too well after the fact. Of the remaining 80%, over half of those people will never return to full function, okay? Again, if you guys like gardening, if you like playing pickleball, hiking, anything like that, we're looking to stay on 2 feet as long as possible. Exercise is like the only way to prevent falls, okay? Lucky for you guys, I'm assuming you're all either at Blue Ocean or Alloy Personal Training. You're doing a lot of good strength training, and that is the name of the game when it comes to preventing falls, okay? I'm going to kind of talk more about this, but when it comes to balance, strength training, you need substantial strength in the hips, in the legs, to be able to actually execute what your brain wants you to do in order to not fall, right? If I kick my foot on a curb and I'm going face first, I need substantial strength in my knees to stop that from happening. Otherwise, you can have all the balance in your head. Doesn't really make a difference if your legs aren't able to support that. But again, lucky you guys, you're already doing the strength training portion. That part we'll take care of. You guys just have to do the work, okay? So let's talk kind of about, so balance really is defining it. It's your ability to stay upright, okay? End of the day, we're staying on 2 feet, whether that's 1 foot or 2, it's the ability to stay upright. There's also a term called proprioception, if you've ever heard of that, maybe not. It's just a longer sounding word, but really that is your ability to understand where your body is within space. So breaking that down, how would I know if Jim's eating cereal in the morning, how does he know where to put that spoon? Can you see your mouth? Didn't think so. Yeah, but yet again, we're still able to bring that in, and we kind of know where that's at. If I closed my eyes, I don't really know where the heck I'm at, but I know where my hand's at. It's over here, okay? So when we're working on proprioception and balance, proprioception is, again, just the idea of being able to understand where I'm at in space. And that really ties into balance because we need to know where the heck we're going because otherwise we don't know where we're going to fall, okay? So those are the 2 things we're looking on. Balance is working on just building up the stability, being able to stay upright. Proprioception is kind of going into different movements that you guys all do at Alloy and Blue Ocean. If I'm doing a squat, it's knowing I'm this far down versus this far down, okay? Those all work in tandem. Question? Absolutely. And then in general, if you guys have questions, raise your hand. I'm not going to, chastise you for asking questions, please. All right, so 3 most common balance training mistakes, things you want to avoid, is I do hear quite often, I am too old to improve my balance. Now, of course, that's not accurate at all. If you can gain strength, which all of you can, then you can improve your balance, okay? So off the bat, anyone at any point in life can improve their balance. Good morning, Jennifer. Welcome back. Good to see you. Balance does start to deteriorate pretty rapidly after the age of 50. So if you're before the age of 50, then let's build it up as much as you can so we've got room to plummet on down. And if you're above the age of 50, we can still halt that degradation and improve our balance as we go along, okay? So again, anyone can improve their balance, whether you're 200 years old or 20 years old, okay? Another mistake that I often see is simply focusing on standing on one leg, okay? That's awesome, but I don't know how many times we're literally just statically standing on one leg. Doesn't actually do a whole lot for you, okay? So when we get into the actual exercises, we will be standing on one leg, but we're going to be doing a whole lot more than that, okay? What you're looking to do in general when we work on these exercises is we're looking to make it more and more complex, okay? Again, standing on one leg, I could do that for 30 seconds. I could do it for 30 hours if I really cared enough to, but I don't really do that. So when we're looking to do that, we're looking to then maybe close our eyes, and all of a sudden, it's a whole lot harder. We're going to be doing that later, so prepare yourselves. But really, in general, balance training is way more than just standing on one leg. It's a big part of it, but it's definitely not all of it, okay? Additionally, going back to like strength training, you've probably noticed when we do our workouts and such, we do a lot of lunges, we do a lot of different things like that. Lunges and the like are some of the very best exercises you guys can be doing at home for building up your balance ability. That to be said, going back to some knees, not so hot, maybe lunges aren't your thing, maybe that hurts. There's again a million other ways to benefit from those, okay? Number 3 is the lack of strength training. So a lot of people really do just like, you know, I'm old, I don't really need to be working on strength training. I'm just going to work on my balance. I'm going to stand for 30 seconds every day and I'm just going to really improve at that, right? Again, doesn't cut it, okay? You can build up. Balance has a lot to do with your brain and cognition, kind of like linking your muscles to what your brain wants to do. So if we're not, again, amply building up the strength in our hips and our legs and our core, then as much balance as you can get doesn't really make a difference because still going to hit the deck when your leg hits the curb, okay? 2 last things, strength training, again, paramount. And then last thing, I'm just going to touch on cursory. I know my boy Kyle likes to work on his bare feet, like shoes. My fancy shoes that I'm wearing right now, these are called Vivo Barefoot. I should have put a plug in here so I could have got a sponsor, but you guys have a lot of awesome shoes. I'm a big shoe guy. I see a lot of Hokas out there that are really good at cushion and everything like that. When we do balance exercises, the more cushion I have, if I were to do this and stand on like an Airex pad, that's a lot harder, okay? It's a lot harder to actually balance. There are around 29 muscles in your feet. That's a lot of muscles, okay? I got 2 muscles in my biceps. I've got 29 in my feet. And fun fact, we pretty much don't work those at all. So when you are at home, I do recommend barefoot socks. If you can manage to get some bare feet shoes, then all the better. That translates to better squats, of course, better balance across the board. Just train your feet, folks. It's good for you, okay? No worries. Good morning. No worries at all. Welcome aboard. Without further ado, you're just in time. We'll go ahead and get started on some exercises. So I didn't really know how many people were going to be here, if I'm being honest with you. We've got a big full room. All I'm going to ask is everybody, and I mean everybody, just make sure you're up against a wall if you need to, or anything. You can hold on to any of the pieces of equipment out here. Just make sure you got something in front of you or to the side of you so you don't go falling over, because I have a first aid in the corner. Haven't had to use it yet. Don't really plan on doing that today, okay? So without further ado, go ahead and stand up. Find anywhere along the wall, anywhere along any piece of equipment, something substantial that's going to catch you if you fall. All right. All right, so going back again, it is more than just standing on one leg, but we're going to start there anyway. So what I'm going to invite you guys to do, I'm just kind of going to throw instructions at you guys, and you're going to play Simon Says with me, okay? So everybody, if you'd be so kind, we're going to do both legs here. Go ahead and, again, make sure you're close to something. Bring one leg off the ground, and let's start balancing, huh? Let's improve it right here. Good morning. Just in time. How we doing? Good. No worries. Cool. All right, so If you're holding onto the wall, see if you can take your hand off it for just a little second. See how we're doing. Linda's crushing it over there. Good job, Linda. All right, is this super difficult for anybody? No, people are doing pretty well. Awesome. Go ahead and switch legs. Same exact thing. See how that feels. I want you to kind of consciously think about, what do you feel in your legs, in your feet, in your ankles? Is anything kind of firing on or anything like that? Maybe some calves, maybe some ankles, hips, glutes, whatever. Again, relatively easy, I'd assume, right? Linda thinks this is a walk in the park, right? Keith too. So, all right, I'm going to ask you now. We're all looking at me pretty dead in the eyes. I love it. Go ahead and start moving your gaze. Look around the room. See how everyone else is doing. And Jim's laughing because guess what, folks? It's a little harder, right? Who would have guessed? We're taking something relatively simple. We're adding a little bit of complexity, okay? Now, Linda's starting to sweat. It's getting a little difficult, right? So we're moving around. Again, move your gaze. Go ahead and switch legs. Same exact thing. We're going to keep moving the head. Move your gaze. Look around. Now, again, if we're out in the world, we're walking on ice, odds are we're probably not consciously looking straight ahead all the time. We might be looking across the street, seeing if there's a car coming, and all of a sudden, that's when you go to slip, okay? Adding complexity, that's when it gets hard, okay? So, last piece of the puzzle, going to amp it up. Linda's looking a little comfortable. Close your eyes. Make sure you're close to a wall. This is heck of a lot harder, okay? Close your eyes. Dream of how good Linda is at balancing. My goodness. Awesome. Yeah, seeing a little teeter-tottering, right? All of a sudden, a little more difficult. So, when we close our eyes, that's that proprioception I was talking about, okay? Your brain all of a sudden has to light up and think about, where the heck am I? Am I in a gym? Am I in the supermarket? What's going on? So everything's got to work a little bit harder, okay? Go ahead and switch legs. We're going to do that. Close the eyes one more time. Maybe one side's better than the other. And that is often the case, I will say. I myself am substantially better on my left side than my right. That's going to be a kind of constant theme as we go along here. But as you can see, again, maybe one side's a little better than the other. Jim's having a great time. Lori's crushing it. Cool. All right, 2 feet back on the ground. Fantastic job, okay? All right, so now I'm going to ask, we're going to work on, there's pointed strength training that we can do to help our balance improve. We're looking for the hips, and there are what's called your abductors on the outside, your glute medius, and then there's your adductors, which kind of like the groin, the inner thigh, okay? Both of those muscles really need to be firing up in order to balance. That's all the swaying, all the movement that we're looking for. So we're gonna work on this one. If you're on a wall, make sure you're sideways to the wall. If the wall's here, I need to be sideways. Let's see, we'll do this one first. So the leg closest to the wall, that's the one you're going to be balancing on for a second. From here, what I want you to try is you're going to push your hips towards the side, kind of bend it over a little bit, and then fire it back to where we started. You're going to shift your weight towards the wall, fire it back to where we started, okay? Kind of squeezing that glute a little bit, okay? Do about 5 to 20 reps, anywhere in there. If you start feeling fatigue, that means we're in the right place, okay? So what we're doing on this one, we're working on the glute medius, in charge of stabilizing the hips. If some of you guys have low back pain, sometimes that means either lack of strength in those hips, which this is a great exercise for that, or sometimes they're overly tight. Either one, it still translates a lot of times to that low back pain. But this is paramount for being able to, again, all of a sudden a toddler comes out of nowhere, knocks your leg. I'm trying to adjust myself and bring myself before I fall face first, right? So when you're at home, in general, guys, by the way, I'm not going to give you like a full, every day do this 10-minute protocol and you'll be balancing in no time. I'm just going to give you guys tools. I'm recording this, obviously, and so hopefully if I get this squared away, I can have it for you guys to reference. There is, however, a balance training program that we have, monthly balance program that Alloy offers. John, our fearless leader, puts that together every month. If you want practical exercises to just go off of, he sends those out every month. Talk to your local trainer. We'll make sure we get you on there, okay? So we've been doing that on that one side. Go ahead and switch sides. We'll do that same thing. If you do this at home, I reiterate, I'd say about 5 to 20 reps. As soon as you get some mild to moderate fatigue, that means you're good to go. We don't need to go, crazy on this one. We don't need to be feeling like we're getting beat up. And then in general, you're looking for maybe 2 to 3 times a week of this kind of dedicated balance exercises, okay? Everyone kind of feel their hips on fire? Question for me? Yep, so if the wall's here, or in your case, it's right here, I'm shifting this way, kind of pushing my hips to the side, and then I'm firing back to where I started, okay? So that, your left leg, you can go ahead and keep it here. We're just pushing our butt to the side, essentially, okay, and putting it right back to where we started. Once we are done with about 5 to 20 of those, we're going to do the opposite, okay? So with that, we're going to, the opposite leg, so the leg furthest from the wall is going to be the one we're standing on now. We're going to push our hips towards the wall again, and then fire it up, looking on that inner thigh, okay? So similar story, we're looking for about 5 to 20 reps on this side. After about 5 to 20 reps, you can go ahead and switch sides, same exact thing. Looking good. You can keep it straight. Honestly, end of the day, it's kind of going to depend whether you feel pain or not in the knee, okay? And after this, we will start getting into some bent knee fun. And then as far as doing this at home, and this goes across the board with a lot of these, again, you might have noticed maybe one side's a little weaker than the other. Maybe you feel fatigue a lot quicker on that one side. I'm going to recommend you guys do 2 sets of 5 to 20 reps. After 2 on each side, whichever side appears weaker, I would recommend you do a 3rd set on just that one side to help even us up, okay? Again, that's stuff you can do at home. Jim, we having fun yet? Amen. Amen. All right. Again, about 5 to 20 reps there. After that. All right. So, once you're done with that, we're going to be bending the knee a little bit. I will reiterate, if you feel pain down here, don't go there. Stop about 10 degrees north of that, okay? But we will be bending the knees. Again, some knees in here aren't so hot, so bear with me, okay? From here, probably have the wall up in front of you, but what we're going to do is simply get a little bit of bend in the knee, or now we're just going to hold on that one side, okay? Don't need to go all the way down there. About 10 degrees north of pain. You're the CEO of your own body, so you keep track of that, okay? And think about kind of pulling your feet out as much as possible, getting some grounding in there. And we're just kind of going to hold it there for about 10 seconds or so. Think about how that feels. If anything's lighting up. And squats are good too. They're still going to build everything up we need, okay? All right, maybe those feel good, maybe they don't. We're going to go ahead and add some more complexity here. So if I'm in that bent knee, now I'm going to come back up. We're just going to do some movement here, okay? So like a quarter pistol squat, okay? Going up, going down. Don't need a whole lot of movement. If the knee's not feeling so hot, then don't go quite so low. Make sure you're breathing. Awesome, awesome. Perfect. We'll go ahead and switch legs, same exact thing. You can stand there for about 10 seconds just on that bent knee. After about 10 seconds or so, then go ahead and try some of those kind of quarter squats. Again, we're looking for movement. Things don't really go bad when we're in a static position. It tends to be a lot worse when we add some complexity. Awesome, awesome. Once you're done with that, I'm going to up the ante just a little bit. And again, if something is too much for you, if we're just going to go more and more advanced. So if it ends up being too advanced, again, I couldn't tell you. You'll know better than I will. Then just don't do it, and you can stay at the previous level and just move on as it feels more comfortable. Okay. Of course, that's going to come with time, but we're going to be in that quarter squat. Now we're going to try to come up onto the toe. Come up onto the toe. Yeah, up in the ante. So again, even better. So again, doesn't need to do too high or anything like that, but obviously we're decreasing that base of stability rather than a full foot. Now we've got like 3 inches to work with, okay? Additionally, we are building up the actual strength in our ankles, in our feet, in our calves, and everything in between, okay? So again, kind of working on this, do it on that one side. After about 5 to 20 reps, go ahead and switch legs, same exact thing. Awesome. And then after about 5 to 20 of those, we'll go ahead and move on into a new one. So what I want you to do is just so we're in that bent knee, and I bet a lot of you, and what I've seen is chests are kind of upright. That's awesome. I'm going to challenge you to now kind of hinge forward just a little bit, keeping that bent knee. Now what this is doing is quite literally, if I'm again kicking my foot on that curb, I'm falling forward, okay? So I need to build up again everything in that position to hopefully stop us from hitting the deck, okay? So again, hinge forward just a little bit. We're just balancing. We don't need to go up onto those toes yet. I know Kyle wants to, but he's just going to have to wait. We're looking for about 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stupendous. Go ahead and switch sides. Same exact thing. About 10 seconds of pure bliss. Make sure you're breathing, keeping the core engaged. Awesome, awesome. Got some acrobats in here looking fresh. It's okay to smile, Amy. It's all right. Awesome job. You can go ahead and come back up. Okay, so again, thinking about moving on, just more complexity. Now we're hinged forward just a little bit. Okay, all right. Next one, what do you got? We're going to do standing on one leg. I did this with some of you in the warm-up today. Right arm, right leg. We're going to extend out as close to parallel as you can. Okay. Right back to neutral. Okay, again, make sure you've got the wall next to you. We've got plenty of wall. Make sure you got something to hold on to, but as slow and controlled as you possibly can. Let's go for 8 of these on one side, 8 on the other. Same arm, same leg, extending out. You betcha. Think of those little tippy birds, right? Awesome. Again, think about kind of keeping the glutes involved, keep the core engaged. Awesome. Perfect, perfect. Looking really good. Once you've done about 8 on one side, go ahead and do the opposite side. And then even more challenging with this one is a lot of you are going to start kind of turning your hips. That's going to be a lot easier, and it's kind of a compensation pattern. If you can keep your hips nice and level, that's going to help train those abductors, the glute medius again, keeping them nice and level. Awesome. Perfect, perfect. All right. Tremendous, tremendous, good stuff. Okay, once you are done with those, what we're going to do, again, have the wall kind of close by. So we've done a lot of forward and back and stuff like that. Now it's time to kind of do the entire rotation. So we're going to stand on one leg. I'm basically going to ask you to like make a clock. So 1 through 12, we're going to go out, back, out, back, out, back, out, back. All 12, all the way around. And that's going to require a little bit of movement, okay? She's excited, okay? So keep your pelvis forward to begin with, and that's going to be the most natural inclination. But anyway, we're going to do, again, 1 tap on each one of those Roman numerals on a normal clock. Taking your time, the slower the better, and the further out, the better, okay? We'll start playing around with that. Once you finish with about 12 of those on one side, you can go ahead and switch sides. Same exact thing on the other side. Awesome. Jim looking like a proper ballerina. Awesome job. All the way around, brother. Yep, starting to push it over here, push it back here whenever that makes the most sense. Awesome. Anyone getting tired? I'm just curious. Yeah? Uh-huh. Yeah, go figure, right? Funny how that works. Once you've done that on one side, go ahead and do the exact same thing on the opposite leg. And if you've already done that, then if you've already done it on both sides, again, we kept the pelvis forward. This time, I'm going to challenge you, see if you can kind of rotate a little bit, okay? We're moving a little bit to the side rather than just here. And again, kind of just pick random spots on the clock. This, if anything, if you were to do one thing every single day, it would be this exercise when it comes to that balance, okay? It's putting you in different and uncomfortable positions where we have to kind of work on what we're doing so we're not falling all over the place, okay? I myself am challenged with that, including myself, okay? So again, now we're going to see if we can kind of turn those hips. Now I'm tapping over this way. Now I'm tapping over this way. Rather than just keeping them straight on, adding complexity, right? Layering on different patterns. All of a sudden a little bit more difficult, huh? Who would have guessed? Crazy, crazy. Awesome. Yeah, perfect. And see how far you can reach out, right? See if we can go all the way out here, all the way in front. Mix it up, make it challenging. Move and groove, put yourself, you betcha, yep. Put yourself in different positions, make it challenging. Because again, right, we don't know where we're going to be, where that foot's going to go. All of a sudden, bulldog comes out of nowhere, takes my leg out. All right, I'm going this way. Now I got to be able to, counteract that, right? Cool. Once you are done with that, what I'm going to have you do is now we're going to work just a little bit more concentrated on the feet and the ankles. You're going to go ahead and put one foot in front of the other, just like so. From here, I'm going to tell you probably about 5 steps forward, then you'll flip around 5 steps back. We're doing like this. Number one, we're just going to walk the plank, just one foot in front of the other. Maybe that's easy, maybe it's hard. You're going to know better than I am. 5 steps forward. After that, go ahead and literally flip around 5 steps back where you came from, okay? Give that a go.
Nothing to drink today.
Nothing to drink, yep. Yeah. You and me both, Jim. That's afterwards.
Don't go backwards.
Yeah, physically turn around. Yeah, that'd be fun to go backwards, though. Maybe we'll do that in the future, huh? Yeah. Sure would. Once, what? I don't know. Gymnast, huh? It's in the bones, Linda. Once you're done with that, layering on complexity, we're going to go ahead and do that same thing, but every time you'll take that step up onto the toes, back down, up onto the toes, back down. Now we're physically taking ourselves through that range of motion, building up some strength in those calves. Maybe this is harder, maybe it feels better, who knows? We'll do about, again, 5 forward, 5 backwards. Awesome. And I'm seeing a lot of hand waving and such, right? And that's natural, right? That's totally normal. That's exactly what you'd want to do. That to be said, say we're out there and I just finished plowing Linda's driveway, but there's still, and there's still a little bit of ice, and I'm carrying Linda's dog food for her various dogs, right? All of a sudden, I don't have my hands to help me. So, layering on complexity. If you find yourself moving and grooving your arms too much, try your best to almost like tuck them in. And again, that's just adding one more thing of challenge, right? Just upping the ante. Every one of these, you can just make it more and more complex. If it's too difficult to go more complex, stay where you're at, get that solid, couple weeks worth of that, and you'll be good to go to move on for the next one, okay? Once we are done with that, a couple more things. We're going to do skaters. Again, I had a lot of people do this during the warm-up today. A lot of times you guys will do this as either part of your workout or, again, part of your warm-up. There's a reason we do them. Go figure. So a skater is where you're stepping, bringing that back leg behind you and kind of hinging forward, okay? Optimally, we're going all the way down here, back up. Same thing opposite side. And again, that knee should bend a little bit, but range of motion is different for every individual. If that's this, that's perfectly fine. But now we're shifting all that weight. We're moving and grooving. Go ahead and give me about 30 of those, okay? Again, the deeper you can go, the better. If you can stay on that one leg the whole time, the better. Awesome. Yeah, sorry, not quite as much space as I'd like. That's on me. Awesome, awesome. Awesome. So again, we're adding some dynamism. We're making it not so, honestly boring as just standing on one leg. And this is a lot more functional, right? This is bending over to pick up a pencil. This is grabbing one of Linda's dogs and picking it overhead, right? But we're looking for functionality. We're looking to do the things we want to do and keep doing them, right? Once you're done with about 30 of those, you can go ahead and cut it. Last thing we're just going to do, this is up to you if you want to do these. If you have knee pain, I would shy clear of these. But if you're feeling good, we'll do a forward lunge into a backwards lunge. Again, range of motion is relative. We don't have to go all the way down here. If there's just a little bit of bend, just like so, that's perfectly fine. If not, that's all right, and we'll just do something else. But a forward lunge into a backwards lunge. Same leg forward, same leg back. Give me about 8 of those towards on that one side, 8 of those on the opposite side. Okay, again, range of motion is relative. You do what you need to. Adding dynamism, making it more difficult. And obviously gaining some substantial strength in our quads, in our knees, everything else moving and grooving all at once, okay? Awesome. Once you've done those forward and back, challenge you to go to the side, okay? That's a little bit different. It's a little harder, if I'm being honest with you, for a lot of people. Just shifting that weight. If it bothers the knee, don't do it. If it doesn't, awesome, do it, please. And we'll shift that weight. Every time, though, see if you can come back to that neutral position. That's what we're looking for. Oh, yes. Oh, Laura, you good? You good? Good? Cool. Again, why we need walls, right? And if you're doing this at home, my God, please be smart. Don't do this out in the open. Have a wall next to you or anything that's going to be able to support you at all times, okay? Yep. So we'll shift that weight out here, bring it right back to neutral, okay? And that back foot can turn. It can do anything you want, whatever's most comfortable. Awesome, cool. Who here is tired? Anyone feel fatigued from that? Yeah, a little bit. Raise your hands if you're a little tired from any of that. Yeah? Go figure. Figured. Cool. Awesome. So maybe some of those movements were uncovering some different, coordination, different muscles that we don't often work all that often. So that's a good idea to maybe obviously work on those quite a bit. Okay, so all of these exercises, I'm going to tell you 5 to 20 reps. 2 sets of 5 to 20 reps on each side. If one side's worse than the other, give me a 3rd set on that opposite side, okay? So pretty much across the board. As far as actual exercises, those are all I'm really gonna touch. That gets you pretty damn far. With that being said, core is very much a part of balance, part of proprioception. I can have all the strength in my legs, but if there's nothing here, I'm still gonna fall over, okay? So bird dogs, dead bugs, maybe those are terms that you know from Alloy or Blue Ocean. Do those at home as often as you possibly can. Those are going to give you, you're looking for anything that's called contralateral, meaning opposite arm, opposite leg. That kind of stuff is really functional. It helps build up that balance and coordination, okay? So those things are going to help tremendously. I'm not going to make you guys get on the floor. That doesn't sound like fun for anybody. Without further ado, let's put it all together. Basically, what I'm trying to make sure you guys know is strength training is paramount, okay? You guys are all doing a very good job of that. Of course, you're at Blue Ocean or Alloy and you're doing lots of good work with strength training. We're looking to build up our legs. We're looking to build up our hips and our core, okay? Exercise is the #1 way to prevent falls. And again, there are some scary statistics. Don't want any of you guys to be a statistic, so you can be better than that, all right? Balance and proprioception make you better at the things you already like to do, right? If I'm Jim, I'm getting on the golf course, I like to go golfing all the time. Balance is going to make you better at that, okay? You got grandkids, you got kids, you got a dog. Being able to balance and pick them up, it's going to make you better at that, okay? It's going to make you more functional, give you more time, more longevity doing the things that you like to do, right? Mix it up. Don't just stand on one leg. That's awesome. It's cool. Whatever. If you got 30 seconds, I'd rather you do that than nothing. Even better if you're at home, if you're brushing your teeth, maybe try that on one leg. At least we're adding some complexity. Maybe you're putting on a shirt. Do it on one leg as well. Anything that you can do to add complexity, that's what we're looking to do. Okay? Because falls don't happen if I'm just standing there. I can do that all day. It's when I'm moving and grooving that things go wrong. Okay? Last thing I'll say: slow is safe. Fast is foolish, okay? When you're doing any of these exercises, I'm talking about slow, 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 okay? If you've worked with me in here, I am constantly telling you guys to go real slow on things. It's not just because I like to hear myself talk, it's because it matters, okay? Your brain needs time to literally catch up and understand what the heck. Brogan, what am I doing? Is it a lunge? Am I doing a squat? What's going on? I need my brain to catch up with what my body's doing and vice versa, okay? We're looking to build up the brain, we're looking to build up the legs, we're looking to build up everything in between. That's the name of the game when it comes to balancing, okay? That is about all I've got. I will reiterate, we do have a monthly balance program that you all can be a part of if you're part of Blue Ocean or Alloy. Talk to your trainers, they'll get you signed up for that. It takes 30 seconds on our part. Otherwise, any questions, any concerns?